Hi, I'm Lee, I'm an intuitive, and every month I take the pulse on what might be showing up for us in the collective. A few of the themes coming up for April are, it will be the brightest and lightest month energetically that we have seen so far in 2021. The energy will be fast and opportunities will also show up in faster ways than before, which can be a great thing, or for some of you it might mean needing to stay grounded if things feel a little too chaotic. And we will also look at why creating is healing and how creating anything is actually setting us on a healing path and how that's going to come into bigger focus this year. Stay tuned for the full update. Hi, welcome to the energy update for April, and as ever, if you enjoy these videos, please hit subscribe if you're on YouTube, or go to YouTube and subscribe so that you will get the newest videos that we put out every month as they come out. As well as the energy updates, every week I release a podcast where I have conversations with other creatives, creators, healers, and change makers in the world called Impact the World, and those come out every Monday. But for today, let's look at April and some of the themes that are showing up this month. April will be the brightest and lightest month we have seen energetically in 2021. And on the one hand, that feels great and it feels like some kind of relief, I'm sure. But at the same time, it can bring with it its own set of things to be mindful of. And the first thing to be mindful of in April is, even though the energy will be lighter and brighter, it will be very easy to feel ungrounded as a result. For some of you, you might feel lighter and brighter and it's exactly the lift that you needed, or you're able to make headway with certain issues or areas of your life or relationships that you haven't been able to. Perhaps, especially if you've been struggling for around the 6 to 9 month period with a relationship or with a certain pattern or a certain behavior, April, it will make it very easy for you to start to get more clarity, make some changes, shake things loose. But for those of you who might, go headlong into the lighter and brighter energy and enjoy it, it could be very easy to get ungrounded, meaning a little too chaotic, a little too excited, so nothing in your life is really grounding. So just be mindful of how you are receiving and working with the energy of April, because it's a great gift to have a little more sustenance and nurture for what it is that you want to create. And so anything that has a certain level of grounded focus accompanying perhaps your visionary mind is going to go really well. But it would be easy, especially this last 12 months, how much purging and healing and intensity there has been, to come flying out the gate and really go running with all those energies. So there's nothing wrong with anything we do. Anything we do, we're always learning from. But the message I got very clearly about this April energy is, some of you might want to just catch yourself every now and then and see how things are going in your life, especially if you're feeling more amplified than before. And this also relates to the energy is fast. It's been fast and getting faster all the time on the planet. Things are transforming fast and things are changing fast. So yes, there will be a lot more room for opportunities for you in April. There will be more options coming in. There will be more things to choose from for many of you than there perhaps will have felt to be for about the last year. However, because the energy is fast, again, making sure that your choices feel good for the months to come, the months beyond just the initial high or thrill or relief that we get as a little bit more sun comes in to our world in April. The other piece to just touch on here, and this will be something that many of you who are, if you like, veterans of awakening or conscious living or spirituality and a student of spirituality, there are a lot of people going through more electrical upgrades than ever before. This is really a period in your life, and it can last days or weeks, or for some people months, where you literally are shedding your old identity and your old way of being. But instead of doing it in a very mental and very focused way where you're perhaps generating energy and trying to create moves, It's like electricity is flooding your body, and you can feel very wired, you can feel very disoriented, you can feel like you don't quite know who you are or how things work anymore. It can be a disorienting time, and it can be a time that feels thrilling and exciting and like you've never felt so alive in your life. Or it can feel like you're all over the place and you don't know which way is up or down. And sometimes it can be a combo of both. A lot of us have had these electrical upgrade periods in our life. And what is happening to us at that moment is our energy is literally changing faster than our human mind, ego, and identity can actually keep up with. So long term, it's a great thing because it sets you up to really transform in ways that you would like to. But when it's happening, it feels intense, and it can require a certain level of energy management, support, looking after yourself, and understanding that it's happening to you. That tends to make us all calm down when we get a little bit of a sense of what the hell is going on with us or why we feel. So electrical upgrades are on the rise, and a lot more people are going through these periods where things might not seem grounded or make much sense to you in your personal experience of yourself, of your immediate life, and you literally can feel like electricity is pulsing through you more than ever before. There might be things that you want to start to include in your daily routine to help support that. Even just knowing it's going on for you can really help the way that you manage it. So if you're in that phase, remember, it's a precursor to you making a very big change in your identity in the world, in your way of working in the world. And when I say a big change, I mean something that will last years. But it's a little like timeline jumping. When you're in an electrical upgrade, you're literally being lifted from one way of being, and you're hovering above your new way of being while your body gets recalibrated. So some people experience this as awakening, and that might be how they see awakening. But the electricity on the planet for transformation is strong. So if you have been tuning in or tuning up or working on yourself spiritually, don't be surprised if this month you get a bit of a bump and a bit of a lift, and you get invited into that electrical upgrade stream that's flying around the planet. And if it happens to you, again, ground, ground, ground. So, chop wood, carry water, garden, do whatever you can that you're able to do that helps you feel grounded, because it's a lot on the body. But eventually you come through the electrical upgrade and you get to start to settle everything in again. Ancestral healing is continuing on the planet, and that's something that my guides have talked to me a lot about over the last few years. And they said that the ancestral healing that we're now seeing in many cases is thousands of years old, and it's playing out through current day events. So there might be something going on in the world that triggers you in a very particular way. And on the one hand, your mind might want you to think it's because of that thing. But actually, what's happening is we're being asked to shed a lot of the density of our ancestry, and we're being asked to do it fast. Now, there isn't always a payoff with this that's evident. I think it's nice when we think, oh, great, I'm shedding some ancestry. This is going to make me feel better. There isn't really a choice. Where we're going as a more conscious society, because that's what we have to become and what we're heading into, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. There's a lot of power struggle. There's a lot of power grabs going on the planet right now. And we have to find our voice and our way of standing for something else if we see something going on that we don't agree with. So ancestral healing can really bring you to your knees. It can put you into fear. It can put you into trauma. It can trigger betrayal. It can trigger soul wounds that are not only ours, that we came into this lifetime with, but also just we as a planet. We were raised into this human conditioning and this human culture. So we're all part of the human soup. And we've all borrowed emotions or thoughts from each other. That's how it works energetically. But when ancestral healing is taking place, it means we're jumping through healing together. So the thing to be mindful of around this is not just what am I letting go of, and between April and July, the main ancestral healing energies we're going to see are grief, and heartbreak. It doesn't mean that others won't be in there because we're a multidimensional world. But grief and heartbreak are going to be more of a focus for us between April and July when we're in the healing mode, or when we're with some of the more dense feelings that we have, some of the more sad feelings, the heavy feelings. But the gifts are going to be a return of life force and power when it comes to our ancestry. Us going back thousands of years to collect some of the original life force and the original power that we as humans were able to possess. And it involves being more connected to the stars and the universe. But it's intense and it's complex and it's very knotted. So if you're feeling like, what the hell have I been going through the last few weeks? And you can identify a few of the feelings you've been going through. You're like, okay, yeah, I felt really sad. I felt really triggered by things that I'm seeing in the world. Can you sit with and be with those feelings and figure out what those feelings might need from you? What do they want to tell you? How has this shown up in your life? Do you want to go forward using these feelings or being activated by these feelings? Or is this the time for your ancestral healing to take place? So what groups can you find online or in your community if you have some freedom of movement where you're living in the world at the moment? Who can you find to share some wisdom and some healing with around these themes that are showing up in your life that are heavier, so that they can turn into the power and the life force that they're trying to become? Because for all of us, healing is always compressed energy. You know, when we've had our wounds, it's basically a wound is a compressed area of our full expression, our full life force, that because somebody shamed us, judged us, and we felt the pain of it and we embodied it and we took in this wound, we then carry that wound with us through our life. And the next time someone judges us or shames us, that wound activates and we back away. Well, what we're doing right now as a world is we're healing more than we've ever been able to. It doesn't mean everybody is going to be aware or awake to that at this point, but more people are becoming that way. So for you, you might be a great custodian for some others in your life who need support or a little bit more insight, or just being told, hey, it's okay. You know, perhaps they're going through a very big awakening and they're like, this world is not quite what I thought it was, and my life is not quite what I thought it was. And you, as a compassionate person, will be able to remember that, because it can be pretty intense when you first start to wake up. So being either a compassionate custodian of others who are going through that, or recognizing, actually, I'm in a really intense phase right now and I've been trying to ignore it and I've just been trying to carry on, or I keep telling myself, why can't I get over this? Rather than, there's something really big going on in me. What can I do? What time can I find to support it, investigate it, give it what it needs so it can turn back into my power and my life force? Connections in April onwards will start to increase. So connections that you might want to create or have with people, with plans, with projects. We're coming together. As I was tuning in this morning, I got this image of us coming together even more as a world in April and starting to connect with each other. So meeting more of your soul family, meeting more of the people who are the stepping stone to your next learning, your next growth area. There's a lot more connectivity coming in. So some of you might feel a little bit, I've been by myself for 9 months. I don't know if I want to connect. And that might be your way. You might be much more introverted. But don't discount some of the good connections that might be coming into your life for good reason. We often don't recognize those at first, you know? Life is full of great surprises, and we can manifest and intend to bring those things to us. But if you're working consciously and working with spirit, be open to some of the surprises in people who might come into your life, especially if you don't quite recognize them at first. What I mean by this is, I'm not talking about the recognition that we get with someone who's soul family. You know, you meet someone and you're like, oh my God, it's like I've known this person all my life. That's different. But because you're changing and because your patterns are changing faster than ever, there might be a different kind of person who you don't recognize at first. Perhaps you're always drawn to the gregarious person in a room. Well, suddenly you have a bit more attention for the quiet person in the corner. And that's a little out of your pattern. Normally you'd go that way. but let yourself try out this connection with this person and just see what emerges. Because often the best relationships, connections, experiences with people, they aren't always immediate. I know those can be wonderful. Like when you meet someone, it's, oh, I'm meeting an old friend. But it can actually be even more rewarding when it's someone that you, on the 5th time you're with them, you suddenly start to develop a connection with them. So not only are connections on the rise this month, and we'll start to see more of a coming together to collaborate and create the kind of life and world that you might like to see more of out there, but also you're going to notice that there will be people that perhaps are a little different to the kinds of connections you've usually had. And that's because you and we are changing. So we're having new kinds of relationships, and that's a great thing. It allows us to become more connected to more people the more we're able to do that. Okay, so stay present for or generate magic and love in your life as much as you can, as often as you can. There's those beautiful donkeys who live just down here. It's very sweet. I see they stay present to magic and love. Totally. Thank you. Good point. Stay present for the magic and love in life, or generate magic and love. Now, if me saying that really upsets you, if you're like, oh, I haven't seen magic and love for months, you have to start generating it and creating it. So, simple thing that many of you have done, gratitude lists are huge. And again, if it annoys you that I'm saying write a gratitude list, at night, sit down and write 5 things that you're grateful for that day, or 10 things that you're grateful for that day. It will start to retrain you to see the magic and the love and the presence in life, particularly if life events or circumstances or emotions have brought you down and shut you down. We have to start rebuilding our engine in much the same way we don't just come out of depression overnight. If we've been in a very depressed period for a long time, it's a steady climb out, and we have to support that climb out over a period of time. And there might be supplements that help with that. There might be people and practices that help with that. So if you're missing the presence of love or magic in your life, reconnect with those, because they're going to be very alchemical forces in the coming months for creation. Your ability to feel or connect to love or magic, or generate those things, doing something magic for somebody, giving them a special gift or a special opportunity that you can see lights up their world. The energy is contagious whether we're receiving it or giving it. So try that out for yourself. And if you're someone who's like loving the magic and the love right now, and you're the magic fairy for everybody and you're sprinkling it around, that's great. And if your engine is already up and running around magic and love, this is going to be a great time for you to create. Because creational energy, and I've talked about this a lot over the months, is getting stronger and stronger in the world, creating the new. So my final thought to leave you with, and this came from a workshop I just gave last month, a weekend with Lee and the Z's. One of the things that I was really bringing through is to remember that when we create anything, it's healing. We're not just creating something and having a completely benign inner experience. We're usually having to find something new in ourselves, let something new come through. So if you're stopping yourself from creating or holding yourself back because you think you've got wounds in the way, that's the point. When we're willing to slowly but steadily create something new in our life, it's going to help us transform our inner. So for example, you might be like, I really want to write this book for the world. Great. The outcome and the end product might be a book that perhaps is going to be really important for tens, hundreds, thousands, or millions of people. But for you, the gold as a creator is going to be the journey of transformation that you go through as you write that book, complete that book, and put it out into the world. So try and remember that creating anything is healing. So if you're holding yourself back from creating an area of your life differently, or creating a relationship you might like, or creating something in the world, it's going to be very supported this year, but don't forget that it causes us to grow, and it should. That's the point. Otherwise, we're just recreating something we've seen or done before. There's no real energy in it. There's no transformation. Last but not least, create boldly, especially between now and October. bolder expression in the world, bolder creativity is going to be needed. Because of all the healing that's going on the planet, you're just going to need to ratchet up the amount that you are willing to push forward or express. So it might be a little uncomfortable, but again, that's okay. That's part of the point. But bolder creation is going to be the more successful creation, especially between now and October. Doesn't always mean you create something very bold to the outside world. It might be that you work on being bold in your inner world, so that then what you create outside you becomes a reflection of that shift. So I'm going to leave you this month with an affirmation. I've been bringing a lot of affirmations through lately in all of my work. And affirmations are a great way to reprogram ourselves. We say an affirmation out loud or in our mind, and it starts to fine-tune and recalibrate who we are and how we see ourselves in the world and what we'll allow to come to us. So the affirmation I want to give you for April that came through this morning is, I allow myself to become more fully me. I allow myself to become more fully me. And just let that reverberate through your cells and your body as you say it. It may bring up a release, it may bring up joy, it may make you want to dance around the house. Anything is good, but if you get a feeling from that affirmation, use it for a while and keep reciting it, because it will help your cells and your energy field start to open up to you becoming more fully yourself. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. I do these every month, so as I said, hit subscribe if you want to get updated every time we have a new energy update. But we put new videos out, several, every single week. And many of you are in my portal members community, which has been called many different things over the years. Some people call it a sanctuary for sensitives. It really is healing and wellness tools to support you as we go through all of these energetics. So I do a 90-minute live broadcast every month that includes channeling and questions and answers with you. Of course, anything that's done live we always have replays, we have transcripts, we have meditations in there, we have Qigong from Stephen Washington. There's a whole host of things, including music playlists that we curate. So if you want to try the portal out for a month and see if it works for you, we'd love to welcome you to our community. Also, every month I create a special channeled recording or two with sound healing music. And this month, the portal recordings are a set of 2 energy alchemy meditations. Meditations designed to both reset you, but also to move you energetically. So I wanted to create something that would be really good for healing. So I've created opening to healing and integrating after healing. 2 separate meditations, around 20 minutes long each. And you can use the words and the music to really prepare you before you're going into either a healing session or a phase of your life where you want to open to healing more. And then integrating after healing. How do we look after ourselves and let that calibration move through our bodies and invite ourselves to settle? So those 2 recordings are a pair. They are also available in my store from this month if you aren't a portal member and don't plan to be, but you want to get those recordings. And last but not least, thank you for all the lovely feedback about our Awaken music album. It's songs, spiritual songs tuned to 528 hertz. And you can stream it, get a CD or a vinyl, whatever your choice is, at awakenalbum.com. So until next month, everyone, big love, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. And here is a short excerpt of Opening to Healing.
Healing is the path for all humans. There is no shame in healing. Quite the opposite. To be actively healing means you are actively alive and evolving. Healing is the process of recovering not just parts of you that have been lost or hidden in this life, but across soul lifetimes. Sometimes healing will take place and you are highly aware of what it is and why it is happening. Other times, healing is moving through you in more hidden or abstract ways. You are either listening to this recording because you are ready to heal a specific circumstance in your life or area, or because you are struggling to open to heal. Healing accelerates with your permission. Healing accelerates when you remember you are allowed to be supported while you heal. Supported by yourself, supported by others around you, and supported by the angelic and guidance realms that surround you right now.